St. Mary's is seen as providing a safe, comfortable, and enjoyable atmosphere at athletic events. Community staff and campus safety to actively intervene to support any environment that's to enjoy this sporting event. Remember, reserve seating, connecting the section, and the men who are the
Hello, everyone, and welcome to St. Mary's College Stadium, where today the visiting University of California Bears are testing the St. Mary's College Gaels in what probably is the best rugby game of the season, collegiately anyway. There's been some good ones, and I'm sure there'll be some great ones in the playoffs and through the championship, but this will prove to be one of the most anticipated and well-attended games this entire year for the rugby world here in Gael land at St. Mary's. I'm Marty Storty, and I'm joined by my partner, Joe Yakubian. Joe, how are you doing today?
Thank you, Marty. All good here, thank you, and a pleasure to be in the box with you as always. And you're not wrong, massive day here at St. Mary's. This event has gained a bit of a reputation over the last few years as the biggest outdoor athletic event that the campus will host this season, in the spring season here. And we're expecting north of 3,000 people today in person. And let's see how many we can get on the stream on YouTube for you watching at home. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, Marty, cracking game today. You know what to expect when these two teams play each other. Just a very short 10-mile drive between the two. The Bears coming from Berkeley this morning to Moraga. Should be a cracker, and also very important game today. Last game of the regular season. For those of you that keep up with the collegiate rugby landscape, more likely than not, these two teams will face each other again, whether that's going to be in a round of 16 quarter or semi-final. And the winner of this game dictates fairly certainly where the game will be played. So St. Mary's, if they can get the win today, they'll be looking to host Cal again in a month or so, and vice versa. Cal Berkeley looking for a win here in order to take that playoff game back to Whitterfield. Marty, you've watched a lot of these games. I'm sure you played in them back in the day as well. Just tell us about what's really important for both teams here and what they will have been focusing on throughout the week.
Yeah, this will be a great test for both teams. Neither team has lost to anybody, and if you look back historically, you can go back for the last 12 to 14 years, and either St. Mary's or Cal has been in the national championship game every year. St. Mary's has won the championship 4 times, and Cal won it last year. So Cal's defending national champions, and St. Mary's has plenty of rings to show for their great effort. So obviously the two best programs here in on the West Coast, and the style of play is going to be a little bit different today. Cal has always brought forward that bully mentality, the one-pass charge, and really has been a dominant physical force in rugby for decades. St. Mary's was able to get the better of them by playing a more open, wide-open style and really able to take advantage of the corners and some of the gaps. Last year, I thought Cal changed their strategy. They looked to be the more wide open team. They played the ball wide quite often, significantly more than they have in previous years, and that I think was the end all. Both tight games that they played last year, and it was a phenomenal effort on both parts that Cal was eventually crowned national champions last year. This is a beautiful day as we get ready here for the national anthem. I would consider this St. Mary's College easily the best rugby facility in California, easily, but potentially in the country. The way it's situated on our campus, full stands on the one side all the way across, plenty of room around the traditional other sideline where both teams are. One team on the, as our view is, Cal's on the left and St. Mary's will be on the right once they enter the facility. But just a gorgeous day, crowded. It'll be a packed house, and I think we're going to get well above that 3,000 fan number today.
Yeah, no doubt. And just to double down there, the pitch is looking fantastic. And the weather is nice. It is 5-star rating for some running rugby today. And just to touch on what you were speaking about there, couple things, Marty. We do have the last two national champions in the house today, with Cal winning last year and St. Mary's winning the year before. And yeah, you saw a couple years ago the makings of Cal starting to I don't want to say evolve is the right word, but starting to diversify their play style, and you really saw it come into fruition last season as Cal were barnstorming through everybody, and I believe went to an undefeated national championship as the Gaels did the year before. And if you want to talk about a catalyst for Cal and the reason that they've been so good at spinning that ball and getting it out wide, look no further than number 11 today, Massey Coy. Fantastic season last year for Cal Berkeley as a freshman, capping it off with 2 tries in the second half of the national championship against Life. And he will have a match-up today with Siali Ofa. Oh, my apologies. I believe Iosefa Toyeval will be wearing 14 today. So whatever side they're on for the first and second half, please pay attention as we welcome St. Mary's Gaels, led by your own Mario Storti here, as they huddle it up under the dead ball.
Yeah, they'll initially start with a prayer, get their mind focused and ready to go, and then they'll come over here for the singing of the national anthem. I don't have her name, but it's actually a live performance today with done by a St. Mary's Gael, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have her name handy, but as St. Mary's comes over, after their prayer, we'll get the national anthem. We'll be quiet in respect of that, and then we'll start the game after that. So just give us a minute here while we play the national anthem. We'll be right back to you. Well done, well done. Great national anthem.
Yeah.
As fans continue to pour into the stadium, looks like the two captains are at center field with the flip of the coin. Looks like Rand Santos and Mario Storti having a conversation.
Yeah, just to reiterate there, absolutely wonderful rendition of the national anthem. Apologies, I missed the name, but heard that is a member of the women's rugby team. The women's rugby will be seeing out their season today at Cal Maritime College in Vallejo. They kick off their Northern Californian championship game at 6 p.m. Winner takes the spoils for Northern Californian College Rugby in the women's game. Looks like the coin toss has been complete as St. Mary's move to this left side. And although Iosefa Toyoval wearing the 14, he will be playing on the left wing today. Siale Ofa wearing 11, playing on the right wing. So, on the stream, let's make sure we are watching this close side for an electric matchup between Siale Ofa and Masi Koi, both wearing the number 11 today.
Yeah, it was quite a battle last year, Siale having plenty of good runs and yards made, and then Masi, a fine athlete in his own right, scoring a couple of those tries. So it was a fierce battle last year. We expect the same today. As Oliver Klein gets situated to kick off, the referee's walking out there, getting ready, setting his watch. Fans are still coming in. There are a few seats left, but I expect those to be taken here quickly. Again, it's a beautiful grass field here at St. Mary's College. One of the best settings you'll find for a collegiate rugby game.
And as we kick off here, Ollie Klein sends it into the 22 to Masi Koi, who carries up. I'll briefly take you through the lineup here for Berkeley. Propping Oliver Kirk and Cade Christ, with Alex Vieira playing hooker. Second row of Byron Finlay and Seamus Deely. And 8-man Oliver Teague is going to have help on both sides from Bryce Miller and Ryan Wenstrom. In the back line, all the experience, Solomon Williams playing 9 to Rand Santos at 10. Masi Koi and Nate Kamitsky playing left and right wing respectively. Mikael De Beer and Max Threlkeld in the centres, with Oliver Newell at fullback.
Yeah, nice little box kick right there by Solomon Williams. Mario Storti right there on the line. Touch judge saw him on the line catching the ball. That ball should remain St. Mary since he was out of bounds when he caught it.
And just as Nate Deegan throws it in, let me briefly take you through St. Mary's as well. John Wilson and Colin Donnelly get the start at the props, with Nate Deegan at hooker. Fifth-year pairing of Brian McKeon and Joseph Broughton at second row. Enzo D'Augusta, Atalaya Tengi and Benny Hatch in the back row. Is a nice break there. I missed that Marty who sliced through it.
Yeah, Siale had a beautiful run there.
Front foot, no doubt, out to Bisag. Great hands! Solomon Williams flying in low, makes the hit.
Yeah, that's an interesting tackle. Didn't look like he wrapped, just went and drove his body into the knees of Siale there.
Yeah, looks like it.
Seen as an appropriate tackle by the referee. Knock on by Siale will give Cal the scrum right there on their 5-meter line. Again, shows you the dynamic attack by St. Mary's, as good as Cal is. Once they get on the front foot, that was a beautiful little gap run by Siale, and then a nice finish there. Good hands by Joey Broughton, I believe, was in that as well. So, St. Mary's, if they can play mistake-free, they can be very dangerous.
8-man Oliver Teague runs it up to the 10 channel through Sasaya Pongi. It looks like a big hit there from Dominic Bisag. Cal recycling the ball very well and very quickly. That's trouble. Nate Kamitsky. Nice tackle, Mario Storti. Nice read there from D'Augusta, I believe. Ran Santos. It's a nice play if it works out. Massey Coy has acres of room. This is the matchup. Just a taste of what we can expect today down this short side in the first half. And allow me to briefly take you through the back line. Ollie Klein, Sasaya Pongi at 10, Dominic Bisak and Ethan Younger in the centres, Danville Oaks connection, Siali Ofa and Iosefa Toyaval in the wings, and captain Mario Storti at fullback. As Ollie Klein launches a nice box kick. Siali Ofa got to be off his feet. Benny Hatch, trusted with the 8 jersey today. He'll be looking to make a positive impact. High tackle coming in from the Bears. High tackle, and if you look at where that is on the field, it's kickable for Ollie Klein. Iosefa Toyaval making the first defender miss, as he so often does.
Yeah, no advantage gain there. Looked like it was a high tackle on John Wilson and took that blow and kept turning and gaining some more yards. St. Mary's looked like they had tried to attack left side, no advantage gained. Referee coming back, giving them a penalty. Now there's choices here. He can go for goal for 3 points, or he can go for touch, or they can call a scrum. Oliver Klein selecting to go for points, which gives St. Mary's 3 points. 40-meter line well within his range.
Yeah, I certainly like this decision. If you look at the clock, just about to hit 5 minutes, getting a nice early lead there, punishing Cal for their ill discipline there would be huge. Oliver Klein, a great kicker in his own right. He'll be looking to get off to a nice start here. Let's see how he goes.
So far, St. Mary's, I think the big decider today is going to be tackling, and you've seen St. Mary's make some great tackles. Cal's ball is fast, much faster than they've been in the past, and it really shines when they get that ball moving. Beautiful kick by Oliver Klein, putting 3 points on the board for St. Mary's, giving them the early lead with just over 5 minutes already played in this first half. Cal now will kick off back to St. Mary's. And we'll see if Cal goes for that short kick where they try to compete for that ball, or if they'll kick it a little deeper, or hope that St. Mary's will kick for touch.
Great kick there from Ollie. Managed to grab a word with him briefly earlier in the week, just to get some information about how the team's feeling. It's a huge week on the calendar for both teams, and man of few words, he just let me know that they're hungry. And that's exactly what you want to hear, especially as we get into the business end of the season. Ollie Klein looking to use his boot once again. Not as pretty there, but finds the safety of touch, and Cal will have a line out in a very dangerous position, to be fair to them, just outside the 22.
Yeah, that was a ball that was up in the air that Mossy Coy and Ciali went after. Looked like Mossy might have knocked that forward, not seen by the referee. St. Mary's unable to gain much ground there, giving Cal the opportunity here, the line out, and then they'll try to drive this maul.
Good start from the Bears. This is a real strength of theirs when they can get it going. Out to Mikael De Beer. Inside centre today, Sasaya Pongi does well to get in Solomon's face. Ran Santos out the back, Threlkeld. A must-make tackle made from JT as Berkeley recycle the ball to the left. So you look at the pattern here, rumble out to the backs and repeat, and just look where they've gone from outside the 22 all the way up to the 5 metre line. They're so good at this, Cal, so good at gold zone conversion into points. And they
they're
have
really
the
structured in
advantage.
this type of play right here with the pick and go. They've got the one or two bodies behind pushing from the rear. Having advantage, now they're going to go for the kick.
Oh, that's trouble. It's trouble. Ran Santos with another pinpoint kick here out to Massey Coy, who dots down. It's the second crossfield reception he's had of the match so far. Nice play there from Berkeley. Good patience. And they take the lead here. 5 points to 3. Kick to follow. Just about 10 minutes in.
Yeah, Cal's just so good that they take advantage of the little miscue by St. Mary's not clearing the ball out far enough. I thought they were going to continue the pick and go there, but St. Mary's defense is pretty narrow there, and Mossy Coy stayed on the outside. Ran Santos, who's been a phenomenal player for Cal for a few years now.
Nice kick.
Yep, conversion good. Saw that there's space out there, and that was his second time popping that ball out to the wing. So St. Mary's needs to consider that a little bit on their defensive structure. I know St. Mary's also has that type of attack. We've seen several kicks and chases and kicks and catches for St. Mary's as well, but that one right there put up 7 points for Cal.
Yeah, it's nice play all round. If you think about the field mapping there, we get a line out just outside the 22. How do we want to score? I reckon that's pretty much how they drew it up. And they did well as well to pick and go, and make it seem like that was going to be their method of trying to score a try out there. And just as we were speaking about before the game, Marty, I don't know if in years past you would have seen that from Cal Berkeley, crossfield kick 5 metres out. They did have the penalty advantage, and it paid off for them. As Solomon Williams, scrum capless now, launches a nice box kick. Massey Coy giving good chase. Mario Storti, unlucky there, just can't hold on to the ball. Nice box kick, nice chase as Cal get the scrum.
Yeah, fortunate right there, Mario. Going up in the air for the ball. Mossy Coy was right there. Just knocked it on there, unfortunately, giving Cal the scrum. Still in their defensive end, right by the 50-meter line. So we'll see where Cal does. This is where Cal, 90% of the time in previous years, would just give the ball to the inside center and crash. You don't see Cal running out behind their 22, which they've already done twice this year, or twice this game. So Cal's strategy and structure is quite different.
Oh, free kick given as Solomon goes quickly. Berkeley getting into the rhythm here. Oh, it's nice for Max Threlkel to his centre partner, Michael De Beer. Solomon Williams, nice quick ball, gets there to Santos. Another kick. Tricky to deal with, and Nate Kamitsky with another try in for California, his first of the day. But look at that, Marty. You're looking at 2 tries. Both assists from Brand Santos off of the boot. What do we think?
Yeah, that was a lot of yardage gained right there with a gap run by Threkel. He saw the gap and was able to exploit that, and St. Mary's had to chase him down. Great tackle there to put him down on the ground, but what a quick pickup by, I think it was Solomon Williams that picked that ball up and tapped it out, and a nice little chip through by Rand Santos. So the speed of the phase play by Cal right now is causing some problems for St. Mary's in their defensive realignment, and that's something that they'll need to address. But Cal was able to get that turnover here in midfield, and that big gap run that got him that extra 20 or 30 yards was putting St. Mary's back on their heels. So St. Mary's needs to figure that out a little bit and step up on the defensive side.
Yeah, no doubt. And just want to mention here, just wide from Rand Santos. If we look at the 2 rosters, we're looking at 7 seniors on Cal, 8 on St. Mary's, 4 juniors on Cal, 5 on St. Mary's. So very even matchup in terms of the split in underclassmen and upperclassmen. And I want to mention here as well, we speak often, Marty, about Dominic Bisag and the standard that he consistently plays at now in the centres with the USA Eagles, but we cannot forget that the Bears boast an Eagle in their ranks as well, and that is in their captain and fly half, Ran Santos. What does that tell you, Marty, just about the standard of collegiate rugby we get to watch today?
Yeah, I would say there's no doubt these are the two of the top college teams, which is the biggest feeder into the national team for those that are eligible. I don't know how many of the other Cal players may or may not be eligible given their foreign-born status. So I don't know about that. But Ran Santos has qualified and has been up there and has done a great job from what I understand. And Dom Bisag obviously started several games for the Eagles and really ups the pace. But undoubtedly, these are two of the top teams in the country.
Yep, as we see them go to work here, and it's a nice trick play. Really like that from St. Mary's, the innovation. Everyone expecting a maul there. And referee calling that held up, I believe. Which will be...
He must have called that. That was a nice little play. It looked like John Wilson had that gap run, and John may be asking the referee why that wasn't a ruck since he drove in and set the ball down. But referee called it a maul. Again, if you collapse the maul with possession, or it doesn't matter if you have possession, without that ball coming out, that's a turnover, and that's what Cal did.
Yep.
They were all able to hold that ball in after it was deemed a maul, giving them the scrum right here. This is where Cal, 99% of the time in previous years, would kick the ball. Now it looks like they're ready to run. Ran Santos just off the scrum with the center on him. 8-man take.
Nice capture there. I want to say...
Atalaya there with the great tackle.
Very well done. Disappointing for the Gaels to lose the ball after that nice line-out play. If you look at goal zone conversion, I believe Cal are 2 from 2. Would they like to steal this ball back right now? Yes, no doubt. But Cal setting up the exit. Solomon Williams, a reliable box kicker, and goes to the left boot. And you know that's just a nice exit, a nice pressure reliever. St. Mary should have their tails up here though, just outside the 22, as they have the throw into the line-out.
Yeah, one of the other keys for St. Mary's here is possession and set play, scrums and lineouts. And so far, both teams, I believe, have had their possessions, and St. Mary's is going to look to continue that. Possession is critical here at this point in the field.
Another really nice lineout. It needs to be on today. Sialiofa. Nice carry. Run straight at the number 3, Cade Crest, and a nice hold up from Younger there. Realised the ball over the top was not on. Gives it to Mario to crash through as the Gaels surge. Just into the 22 here. Ethan Younger down the left wing. Atalia Tengi, you'd put your money on him to score. Referee not having it. I wonder if he'll have a word with the touchy. Let's see. Atalia with a nice run there after a line break from Ethan Younger down the left wing. And we're looking at held up.
Yeah, held up in goal.
So St. Mary's twice now losing the ball over the line. Important for them not to panic. They're able to get themselves into that area of the field. They can do that part. Now they just need to focus on the execution and being clinical with their 22-metre entries. As Ran Santos kicks it to Ollie Klein. They'll want to have a little rumble here as Benny Hatch does so, the 8-man. Josiah Pongy, Ethan Younger, nice footwork, Dominic Bisak, hard to stop, very well played, unselfish, the right move to give the 2-on-1 as JT screeches over for a try.
Yeah, that was unfortunate the ball got held up there, but still gave St. Mary's possession as Cal had a kick from behind the touchline there, so it's a drop kick out. St. Mary's was able to spread the field, a nice catch by Oliver Klein to Mario Storti, and then popped it out, and they were able to get that gap from Dominic Bisag and committed the last defender there. Nice pass out to JT or Iosefa, and he was able to bring it back in to give a better angle for Oliver Klein, but great hands right there by St. Mary's showing their skill as well. So ball in hand, whipped around, nice gap run by Dominic Bisag, committed the defender, a nice pass out. So well-constructed play by St. Mary's and executed to perfection.
Yeah, really nice, mature play there from Bisag. When he breaches through, everyone on the field, everyone in the stands, their eyes are on him, especially just knowing how dangerous of a player he is. And the right call again, nice pass out to his winger, JT. As good a finisher as there is in the college game. And he's able to bring the ball round nicely as Ollie Klein slots the conversion through.
Yep, great kick by Oliver Klein here. Now St. Mary's setting up. I believe it's Rand Santos has a great boot on him, so he kicks that ball up in the air, giving Cal an opportunity once it goes past 10 yards to fight for possession as they chase it down.
Ciali. What's the call going to be here? I want to say...
Ciali was in the air when he got hit. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, let's see. So, instant replay here on the booth. Masikoi certainly not meaning to take Ciali out there, but has to be careful running into the danger zone there. You need to be aware of your surroundings. Looks pretty harmless, and St. Mary's will get the scrum feed.
Yeah, both players ended up getting up a little gingerly there. I know Masikoi looks like he's limping around a bit. Ciali the same. So that contact was a little something. But again, it's a great kick by Rand Santos. That ball's a competitive ball just outside our 22. So excellent high kickoff by Rand Santos. Now St. Mary's with possession, and I believe it's their first scrum, so we'll see how solid they are with this set piece possession.
Okay, Dominic Bisag launches it. If it's good, oh, unlucky. Really like the idea there from the Gaels.
Yep. Glad to see the referee catches that. One of the things Cal has always done intelligently is to slow the ball down. The tackler just happens to be in the way of that ball getting out and slows it down where our scrum half unable to get it and pick it up cleanly and quickly. Referee identified that. Penalty against Cal, giving St. Mary's the opportunity to kick the ball out of bounds and receive possession where it goes out.
And a nice kick there from Ollie Klein. Just past the 20-minute mark here in the first half. First quarter is down and the Bears still hold a 12-10 lead. Game has been pretty close so far. Nate Deegan throws the ball in, and it's a nice line out that'll look to continue that St. Mary's as Sisaya gives it out to Atalaya, makes the first man miss, and the second man there, I believe, as Ollie Klein does well to fight out of contact. Mario Storti, nice leg drive there. St. Mary's will be looking to breach the 22 as soon as possible. Saipongi, Ethan Younger, Atalaya. Masikoi does ever so well. However, we will come back.
Yeah, Cal player, just unfortunate offsides, just a little bit slow to get back on side. ran into Oliver Klein there. Referee identified it. No advantage gained. Now it goes back. We'll see if Oliver Klein has options here, right? You could go for 3 points, get the lead back, or you could try to kick the ball to touch to get a line out and try to score from there, or you could actually call a scrum.
Yeah, big decision to make for Mario Storti. And I think wisely they choose the 3 points, as this would give them the advantage on the scoreboard. The scoreboard would give them a 1 point lead here to 13-12. Ollie Klein, super important for St. Mary's today. Let's see how he goes here.
Again, some good ball skill by St. Mary's there, but another example of Cal's defense. They were pretty strong on that line again. St. Mary's had some trouble piercing that to get some go forward and really put Cal on their heels. So Cal's sturdy defense right now went all the way across the field, no advantage gained, so it goes back. So St. Mary's is going to look to exploit some of those gaps and try to get around Cal, but Cal stood up to the test on that phase.
Ollie Klein, well done you. 13-12 to the Gaels. Just over 15 minutes left in the game.
First half.
My apologies. In the first half, yes, Marty. I wish the score would end like this, but we'll see. Plenty of rugby still to be played. Apologies there, just working through a couple technical difficulties as Ran Santos kicks us off. Ollie Klein, Siali Ofa, Solomon Williams with a good tackle, John Wilson with a nice clear out. Here goes Donnelly. Have a go, son. There we go. Can they get it out there? There is numbers. Nice and easy. Out to JT again. What a try. What a try indeed. And credit needs to be given to Colin Donnelly there. It has to be one of the youngest men on the field. A nice break. Gets the crowd going here.
Yeah, we'll go right back to the start with that great catch of that kickoff by Enzo de Augusta there. Again, another great kick by Ran Santos. A lot of pressure on Mossy Coy. This time Enzo was able to grab that ball up in the air as he was lifted. As soon as he got down, Cal tried to pop over him, and then all of a sudden they get it out. Nice little pop pass to Colin, who got that 20, 30 meters run. It's always great to see a prop running with open field, and you can see there's some athleticism there and some great ball skills as well, and another couple of strong phases by St. Mary's. Getting the ball out, again, ball in Dom DeBisac hands. Nothing but good things are going to happen when that's the case. And he was able to get that ball out to JT again. And JT, one of the best finishers in the country, was able to accelerate and dot that down on the sideline to give St. Mary's their second try today.
Yeah, super play there from the kickoff, Marty, you're right. And you can see Enzo de Augusta just getting the crowd fired up there. Him and John Wilson taking some credit for that try, as they should. And yeah, it's that left edge, Dominic Bisag and Yosefa Toyeval working for the Gaels, and Siali Ofa picking up a nice body of work here down on the short side as well. That brings the score to 18-12. Kick missed by Ollie Klein, I believe, as Ran Santos gets us kicked off again. So the lead has turned several times already in this game, to be expected. And really no way to tell which way this one's going to go, which makes for some good spectating. As Ollie Klein launches it, Siali Ofa gives chase. Oliver Newell gets his body in a nice position, and Cal retain the ball as Solomon Williams now looks to start some phase play. There goes Cade Christ. Santos with a nice hold up for Mikkel de Beer. Dominic Bisag wraps Solomon Williams, but Solomon does well. We'll see what Cal have in store for us here as they are building a nice amount of phases here. Nice communication from Ethan Younger. Straight through Oliver Newell. An advantage here to California referee, I believe, calling offside, Marty.
Yeah, again, St. Mary's, same thing happened to Cal. St. Mary's was in a position where their player was behind the play, and scrum half picks it up and runs into him or hits him with the ball. You see that quite often. Just unfortunate positioning there by St. Mary's, giving Cal the opportunity. Instead of for points, they're going to go for kicking the ball out of bounds, gives themselves a nice little, maybe on the 10-meter line. This is where you would expect Cal to throw it in and drive the maul here. That's what they've done earlier in the game, but they'll have the jumper go up, grab the ball. The other guys will come in and get that ball back to the last kid, drive in. Typically, it's the one that throws it in, and they'll use a leg charge to get that going.
Yeah, let's see it here, Marty, as the Bears retain the ball and get them all going. We're looking to snatch the lead back here as we head into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Pretty good start so far, I'd say, with that maul. It gets better and better and better for them. And at the last moment, Atalia Tengi does well to stay in the fight, find the ball carrier, which was Oliver Teague, and he takes him down as Solomon Williams looks to come blind. Resilient defense from the Gaels here, but they'll need to be 100% on it because all Cal are looking for is that half gap. And we know how good they are at finding it as they just go one channel out there. Byron Finlay getting close. Ran Santos Threlkeld again. Oh. And a try from Kaminski in the corner. Grabs his second. Brings the score now to 18-17 to the Gaels with the kick to follow.
Yeah, good power by Cal there, but great defense by St. Mary's, forcing Cal to get that ball out wide. And it looked like St. Mary's defense was in pretty decent position there, but Cal player, I forget which one it was able to throw the ball over the top there and get it out to their wing, Nate Comiskey, who happens to be the son of a former St. Mary's rugby coach. I coached with his dad, John, for a few years here at St. Mary's, so we know there's some rugby acumen in that family as well. So great finish by him, had the ball in hand and nothing but open space, was able to dot it down for Cal's third try today. Right on the sidelines, I know Ran Santos, excellent kicker, as is our Oliver Klein. This is the tougher side of the field for a right-footed kicker, and we'll see.
And it's good.
Kick right there.
Lovely kick from Ran Santos, and an important one as this lead turns hands once again. Bears leading 19-18, just under 10 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, what seems to be happening here is ball in hand, good things happen for your team, whether you're St. Mary's or Cal. St. Mary's able to score their tries and get their yardage when they have ball in hand and move it around a little bit. Same with Cal. And so this will be a testament to the defense as this game keeps going on, who's able to stop the other team.
Yeah, no doubt, Marty. Both teams extremely strong with ball in hand. Weapons all over the shop, and that's a big one breaching through. And a great tackle from Sisaya Pongi on the number one, Oliver Kirk there from Cal. Solomon Williams having a dart. Oh, look at that. Is it Brian McEwen?
Yep, Brian McEwen with a great poach there. Cal really creative in their running. Again, you saw Prop with grass in front of him, running down for Cal. Some really good offloads in contact and quick grabs off the deck. That time, Brian McEwen was able to see that tackle, reach over and poach that ball. Cal's has always been and continues to be a very good rucking team with their presence right at that tackle point. This time, there's a bit of a gap between that next support guy for Cal, and Brian took advantage of it, poached it. Great side kick by Oliver Klein, giving St. Mary's the ball inside the 22.
Yeah, just really nice there. As St. Mary's feed the ball into the line out. Yeah, really nice from Brian McEwen. In these games that are so tightly contested, those kind of moments from your leader standing up and pinching you a penalty like that can make a big difference. And look at that. As St. Mary's maul it in. And we'll see if it's Nate Deegan who came up with it. I want to say it is. Usually as the hooker, looks like he's getting the spoils. As once again, Marty, the lead changes hands. 23-19 to the Gaels. 2 points to follow and just over 5 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, we'll give Brian McEwen some more credit for that poach there. That turned the tides and turned the ball over to St. Mary's. A beautiful kick by Oliver Klein that reached touch inside the 22. And then St. Mary's, known for their skills and speed, were able to power through that powerful pack from Cal, drive that, must have been 18 meters, drive it all the way through, had one nice little roll to it, stayed in formation and was able to drive Cal back over the try line, dot it down for their third try of the day today.
Ollie Klein stepping up here. Every point crucial today. Ollie Klein just unlucky there, not catching it quite right off the boot. Misses that one, and the score remains Gaels 23, Cal Bears 19.
Yeah, just a little bit wide on that one. Didn't hook back for him. Looks like we got a beautiful day without a lot of wind. Sometimes in this stadium you'll see some wind swirling around, but all the trees around us are pretty still. So fortunately, just pushed that a little bit.
Ran Santos again, kicks us off. Not as clean by DeGusta there. And a knock on, unfortunately, which will result in a Cal scrum just outside the 22. And you're right, Marty, we are getting a lot of attacking platform here. The Gaels will be looking to have a similar stand. They did a few minutes ago when Cal last scored their try, but again, it needs to be 100% focus and intent, because Cal are certainly a good enough team to lull you to sleep and then strike out wide as they have been doing today.
Yeah, it looks like their number 8's taken that ball a few times, and he's Oliver Teague has been able to take that ball around, and then Atalaya is the St. Mary's number 6 who makes that tackle. Made a beautiful tackle earlier, a few minutes ago when Cal was inside their 22. So we'll see if Atalaya can grab that 8-man when he takes the ball to the right. Looks like their fly half is pretty wide. I see Mossy Coy staying on the sideline. That's a nice little gap for that opposite wing. You've seen that play a lot where that wing comes through that gap, but he's on the sideline. Don't know if he'll creep over.
Nate Deegan having a word with the referee, just wondering exactly what's going on there. Disappointing penalty to concede for St. Mary's.
Yeah, it looks like that was a scrum, and the referee's calling, I think maybe John Wilson for moving his feet and going down to his knees and collapsing that scrum. Nate Deegan doesn't agree, had a conversation, don't know the results of that. I didn't see John Wilson going down to a knee, or he saw the scrum collapse, didn't know it was his fault. Now Cal will try to return the favor, undoubtedly with a maul off the line out.
And here they go. Keep your eye on number 11, Masikoi here. Penalty again to Cal. And perhaps some words coming here to Captain Mario Storti.
Yeah, it looks like the referee is going to have a conversation with Nate Deegan about being offsides or not rolling away. At least that's the hand gesture the referee made. Brought Captain Storti over to have a conversation with him, letting Nate know that that's not okay to continue that type of play. No cards, just a warning. Penalty, kicked out of bounds by Rand Santos. Now we're back to where we were with Cal's line out. Typically, again, they'll try to get up that catch that ball at a high point, which they do, and then try to drive it through.
Here we go. Really important closing minute or two here in this first half, as Cal Berkeley will look to take the lead going into halftime. A score will give them a 1 point advantage with a kick to follow. It's nice, it's methodical, and you look at that back line, they're poised for something. Will they even need them is the question. Bears getting very close. Solomon Williams thinking about it, but letting his forwards do the work. Wow.
Looks like the referee's calling a penalty. We have an injured St. Mary's player down with the trainers coming on the field.
Yeah, looks like Brian McEwen.
Trying to find out what the call was there. Was it a no wrap or offsides? Can't tell if there's any indication of what that is, but
yeah, it really lulls you, doesn't it, Marty? You're watching that pick and go, pick and go, pick and go, and it seems inevitable what the outcome is going to be. However, we do have a brief stop for an injury here, so I think this game's going to restart with a I believe there was a penalty awarded from the referee, or maybe just a scrum. Just a scrum.
I think it was a penalty that Cal's electing to go for the scrum since
Nice.
they're midfield. Could be wrong, but I thought the conversation he had with Mario about not releasing the player or
Yeah, spot on.
or offsides or something, which Cal now set up in their V. They've got Rand Santos to the left, and they have their fullback, Oliver Newell, to the right, both lining up in split fly halves, as they say, so they could attack either side. Look for the 8-man to take this ball first.
And they're looking to get it as close as they can, keeping it in the 8-man's feet, and woofed. He's close there. Given this time, we'll get the try scorer to you in just a minute. But a big try there as halftime is upon us. The Bears take the lead 24-23, kick to follow.
Yeah, I think that might have been Solomon Williams. Looked like Cal was driving St. Mary's back in the scrum, and the number 8 picked it up. Oliver Teague, he got tackled right there, but St. Mary's was still engaged in the scrum and unable to stop that real quick pick and a quick tap down by the scrum half, ending the first half with Cal's successful conversion going up 26-23 at halftime.
Well, I don't know how many times the score has changed hands in this first half. I've lost count, but we've got to be up, above 5 for sure. And again, I have similar thoughts than I did in the middle of the first half. No idea which way this one's going to go. I certainly saw a lift from St Mary's with Brian getting that important poach before their last try. We hope he's okay. He was also the one needing some attention in the dead ball area there from the trainers. It's really going to be a day for the leaders. Who's going to step up? Who's going to feel that pressure and who's going to ride it as the second half gets going and as the minutes tick down. Again, score here 26 to the Bears, 23 to the Gaels.
Yeah, as they take a break here, so will we. We'll give you a few minutes and we'll be back for the second half call in just a few minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back as we get ready to start this second half of what everybody anticipated to be a very tight and competitive rugby game, and everybody has been thrilled after that first half. You saw Cal take advantage of a couple of St. Mary's mistakes. You saw some great kick and catches by Cal, some great runs by props on both teams, and some really good high skill, and each team scoring some pretty dynamic tries. So we get ready for the second half.
As Ran Santos gets us kicked off, and that's not a mistake they'll want to make. My goodness. Talk about coming out of the traps firing. Ran Santos kicks, miscommunication from the Gaels, and that man, Massey Coy, gets an early and valuable try here. And Murray, that's an especially important one because they've been going back and forth, 4-point lead, 4-point lead. That does stretch the lead out to 8 with a kick to follow. So we will see how important that is in 40 minutes' time. St. Mary's will be looking to brush that one off and restart here.
Yeah, unfortunate start to that. You see that in baseball quite often where the center fielder and left fielder both look at each other expecting the other one to make that catch. And I think we had a couple of St. Mary's players thinking the other was going to grab it. And the ball just went over one of our heads and bounced up straight to Massey Coy, who's been charging every kickoff, right? So
yeah.
He's put pressure on the catches, and we've made, I want to say that's our third mistake off receiving a kickoff there that's changed possession and given Cal another opportunity to increase their lead, which they just did. So now they're up 10 points on St. Mary's, and St. Mary's needs to look in the mirror here and start playing a little bit better rugby and communicate amongst themselves, and I know they will. And as we wait for the ball to get to center for Oliver Klein, we'll see if St. Mary's can put the same pressure on Cal here with Oliver's kick.
Yeah, my apologies. A 10-point buffer now for the Bears as opposed to the 9 points that I mentioned as Oliver Klein kicks us off. Nice high kick. Oh, that could have been a reception for Ciali looking to return the favour on his rival on that far side for this half. Cal Berkeley building a couple phases here. We'll see if they want to play or put up another contestable. I'll give it a go here. Let's see. Not quite as good, and JT has a bit more time. A lot more time. Is he on for 3? It's a nice tackle from Ran Santos. A really nice tackle in Reed. And so unlucky. I missed it, Marty. I'm not actually sure what's happened.
Calling a knock on maybe JT there when he hit the ground. That ball might have popped forward. Wasn't sure there were a lot of people around it, but St. Mary's with a great turnover there. Great play by JT to really get some gaps, and another mistake made by St. Mary's changes possession and gives Cal the ball again. Scrummaging, they put all their backs to the left here, so you look for an 8-man take. Looks like scrum half communicating with their number 8. We'll see where he takes the ball.
Teague to Solomon. Nice footwork. It's really nice from Solomon. It's trademark. Just a little too much.
Looked like that ball went forward, not seen by the referees.
Yep, not seen indeed as they play on. Solomon needs help. Gets it from his 8-man. That's got to be hoofed backwards. I know. 2 potential knocks on, but referee doesn't see it, and Cal do well to play the whistle, or lack thereof, as they start marshalling down the field.
Yep, great job there by Don Bisak. Again, we talked about it earlier. If a ball carrier is held up and the referee determines that it's a maul, that ball needs to come out at some point, even if it goes down. If it doesn't come out right away, then it's a turnover. St. Mary's, Don Bisag right there with a nice tackle on the ball, held it in. The ball carrier stayed on his feet. St. Mary's turned it over, giving them a scrum here. We'll see if they can start to play mistake-free, get that ball in the hands. Looks like they're bringing Ciali over in that gap, which we talked about earlier with Mossy Coy staying wide. This time it looks like Ciali is coming over in that gap.
Yeah, stacked there with Sasaya. Sasaya out, and it was on. Skill breakdown. And we'll keep that nicely. St. Mary's will, I should say. Trouble. Oh, it's so nice. Nate Kamitsky does well. Enzo D'Augusta does well. As well as Nate Deegan, unfortunately knocks it on. Trouble here. If they go, it is trouble because it's a mismatch. It's Massey Coy on Benny Hatch. Massey Coy absolutely rapid, as you can see. And Marty, I think that is his hat trick today.
Yes, it is, definitely. And that time, St. Mary's with good possession. Unfortunate knock on that dribbled that ball out in front, picked up by Cal. St. Mary's had the play coming to the left, so all their backs were on the left-hand side there. Unfortunate to them, Cal was spread out to the left. That ball went out, a couple of nice passes, and we had our forwards out there to their backs, and Mossy Coy is too athletic right there and had a nice little run down the sideline. St. Mary's unable to catch him, giving Cal a increased lead here now, 38-23, looking for another couple of points here with Rand Santos attempting the conversion. Again, that's the last two tries. It's 7 points earlier, now 5. That's 12 points directly related to St. Mary's mistakes that Cal's taken advantage of. St. Mary's needs to play a clean game against Cal to have any chance of victory here, and they need to start playing a little bit stronger rugby. Rand Santos now with the opportunity to put Cal up by 17.
Santos swings and misses.
Just pulled it.
So 2 early tries, both from the danger man, Massey Coy, in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Plenty of time here. What's that? A 15-point margin. It's comfortable for Cal, it is, and it could be dangerous for St. Mary's. They'll certainly want to score next.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain Cal's not going to sit on this number and think they have the game in hand. St. Mary's is too dynamic offensively for that. It's just a matter of St. Mary's not making mistakes. Another knock on by Cal, this time seen by the referee, giving St. Mary's the scrum just outside the 22.
Yeah, and that's nice. That's the kind of break they're looking for, and they'll need to build off of this, St. Mary's. I wonder what they've got in store. The strike play involving Ciali Ofa, I believe, was going to be on if the pass and catch was of a higher quality. Just earlier on before the Berkeley score there. We will see what they are fixing to do here. You can see a Dom C. Bisag promotion. Ciali Ofa, so good at just breaking that first tackle, staying on his feet with defenders hanging off of him, and they're breaching really close here. John Wilson. Couple Cal Bears to take him down. As we see an early substitution, Colin Donnelly, well played young man, leaves the field. With John Henry Rouse coming on in the front row, they'll be disappointed with that, but great field position here. Let's see if St. Mary's can front up for the scrum.
Yeah, that time Cal did the same thing St. Mary's did earlier in the match with holding up John Wilson. Referee establishes a maul. Ball goes down, not coming out quickly enough for the referee, and charging a turnover to St. Mary's, giving Cal the ball on their 5-meter line. Again, Cal's attack is much different than it has been in the last couple of decades, with the change a couple of years ago and last year, a dramatic change, and consistent again today. They're looking to run anywhere on the field. They have some dynamic athletes as well, very well skilled, and it looks like they're going to try to run out of their 5-meter line. Maybe they'll put a couple of phases together and attempt a box kick or kick for touch, but it appears as if they're going to try to run the ball here, whether it's the scrum half passing to the 10 or the number 8 taking it out and going for a run and trying to start the second phase with that.
Yeah, we will see what the plan is right now, Marty, as Solomon Williams feeds again.
Penalty looks like he's calling our loose head for barging, which means his hips widened out, and instead of pushing straight, he pushed inward. John Wilson having a couple of things to say about that. Don't know exactly what's going on in there, but the referee called that, giving Cal an opportunity to relieve some pressure, which they did. Now they've just gained probably 20 or 30 meters with their line out just outside their 40-meter line. So a big territorial difference there with another issue with St. Mary's. Looks like we have another substitution for St. Mary's. Atalaya coming off the field. I thought one of the better players on the pitch today. Joey Manzoni taking his place.
Yeah, great game again from Atalaya. And Joey Manzoni. Manzone, apologies. I'm not actually sure what the pronunciation is. Maybe you can help me out, Marty. Manzoni enters the field, and he knows how to play as well and be looking to make an impact here. Ollie Klein goes. Let's up the tempo. Nate Deegan out to JT. Have a go. I like it from Ollie Klein. As they are now about where they would have been if they kicked for a line out. JT dealing with a little cramp there. Out to Pongy. Enzo D'Augusta, nice carry in. Nate Deegan. Yeah, it looks like a clear out from the side on John Wilson has been called. Just as the Gaels were starting to roll. That's a frustrating penalty.
Yeah, that's the first side entry call of the day. Hopefully he keeps his eyes on both teams when they have possession, because that's been happening quite a bit earlier in the first half and continues to happen in the second half. That's one of the strategies Cal has employed, is to play that fine line of where's the side and where's the front entrance. Digging John Wilson for that side entry, which has probably happened. I didn't see it. Now it looks like he's having a conversation with Mario Storti about repeated Captain Storti having a conversation with John Wilson. I don't know if it's about repeated infringement or whatever it may be, but that side entry there is the first one called today.
As the stands continue to fill up here, that left side's getting pretty full, I would say, Marty. We're certainly getting what we were promised for here. Thousands out for the sunshine in Moraga. Just seen St. Mary's College President Roger Thompson take his seat as well. Great to see him out here supporting the college. As Cal Berkeley kick the ball out and have a line out just shy of the halfway line.
Yeah, it looks like Comiskey's over there.
It's a nice line out from Cade Crest. Rad Santos, Comiskey, John Henry Rouse. As these subs start to come in for St Mary's, John Henry and Joey Manzoni, they have the opportunity to win or lose this game. Let's see how they go as Ran Santos with a nice run, few defenders beaten, lays the foundation for Cal Berkeley as they continue to pick and go. Byron,
I'm not sure how he allows that.
Byron Finlay taking an attempt there, almost over the ruck. Ran Santos, Max Threlkeld, all his experience, Massey Coy. It's a nice tackle, whoever that was. I want to say Ciali got him.
Yeah, the ball's kicked straight out by Massey, trying to chip that down and chase it. Kicks it out of bounds. The ball goes back to where he kicks it. Giving St. Mary's a line out. And St. Mary's needs to take a big breath here, exhale, and get back to their game plan. They can't get frustrated with calls or lack of calls.
Absolutely, Marty. And the clock is ticking. 15 minutes in here. Oh, that's frustrating. I think referee's going to call backwards. Mario Storti says, let me have a go. But yes, 15 minutes into the second half, and Cal doing a good job at just letting the clock tick down, staying focused. St. Mary's need to get on the board here with some haste if they can. Dominic Bisag kicks it down to Oliver Newell. We know he can kick, but he has a go instead. Really nice tackle there. As Massey Coy gets it, slips out of a tackle on his opposite. From his opposite number, I should say, as Cal continue to build phases. There he goes, he's been a handful, and they'll want to stop him. He is rapid for a big lad. Oliver Kirk. Solomon Williams does well to just get them to that 5 metre line. Warning signs for those wearing red out there. Great challenge. Flying into the contact there, jumping in almost. Max Threlkeld gets the try. And number 9, Oliver Klein.
That was some good rugby there by Cal. They had, again, a prop with a long run gaining, 20, 30 yards going through a gap. St. Mary's a little disjointed, defensively unable to make that one tackle. He bursts out, and then again, once Cal's inside their 5 metre line, they're able to pound it through. That time there was a really nice pitch out, perfect timing to Max Threkel, who was able to look like he had a jump there and put it through and touched it down for the 7th try for Cal, extending their lead now 45-23. St. Mary's is going to have to do a lot to come back from this. The one thing they need to do is maintain possession. When they have ball, keep it. And, kind of stop with the knock-ons and some of the other silly penalties that are getting called. So St. Mary's has the ability to come back here, but again, you're going to have to first stop Cal from scoring.
Yeah, exactly, Marty. You just get the feeling that whether it's Cal's good job on defense or the Gaels just not firing to their maximum capacity on offense, they're just struggling to work up the gears here. And almost halfway through this second half, we haven't seen too much of St. Mary's. They've just got to get the ball back here as quickly as they can. And apologies there. Get the ball back as quickly as they can here, St. Mary's, and start building some phases on offense as Mikael de Beer takes a nice break. Josiah Pongi, we've not seen too much of him today. Let's see. Nice tackle from Kmitski. No. Does well. Number 18, fresh on the field for California. Poaches it. Penalty, Cal Bears.
Yeah, nice poach there by Cal. Pongi, ball kicked over his head. A nice kick. Not a lot of opportunity for Cal there. Kicked it over. Sasaya decided to run. A nice little tackle by Comiskey and a poach there by their number 18. So a good poach by Cal, giving them possession again, kicking for touch, giving them the ball again. Now here's Cal attacking again, 5-meter line, giving themselves a great opportunity to put more points on the board. St. Mary's needs to start firing up a little bit, start playing the rugby that they're capable of playing, and really start to see where that dynamic stuff is.
Here we go, over the top, JT gives the offload. The idea was nice, execution not so much.
Yeah, St. Mary's, great opportunity, steals the ball on the line out and knocks it on. Again, another mistake by St. Mary's as we see more substitutions made by St. Mary's. But again, you know, you got to play clean rugby against Cal. They're just way too good for you to continue to make mistakes. They'll take advantage of them. That mistake made by Cal in the line out, overthrow in the line out there, that was taken by JT. Nice little ruck set, and then we decided to fling the ball around and knock it on. And Cal is able to get their scrum here, charging inside the 22. Comiskey's wide. Masikoi is wide. The other backs are in a traditional set. We'll see where the number 8 goes.
Yeah, you're right, Marty. Frustrating loss of possession there for St. Mary's, but getting to the point on the clock that they need to be taking these risks, and that's not going to help the comeback at all as California take it under the posts, make the score 50-23.
Yeah, another example of that scrummaging. Cal putting the pressure on St. Mary's, backing them up a little bit. That scrum by Cal, they cranked it a little bit to the left, so they were on the left side there, and their number 8 was able to pick it up. Good tackle, but the St. Mary's forwards are on the other side because that scrum, Cal twisted it to the left, so it gave their players closer to the breakdown and St. Mary's further away. So one of their players quickly was able to pick that up and dot it down for their try. I want to say that was Ryan Westrom there, who was, the break right there in great position, because I think it was their 9, Solomon Williams, that was the one that set that ruck there after the 8-man got tackled. So Cal putting it to St. Mary's a little bit here, up 52-23 with just about 18 minutes to go.
Yeah, and we spoke about the bench and the importance of the bench for both teams, and I don't have the reserves roster here for Cal, but number 18 coming on, poaching the ball, getting them the penalty, keeping them in the right part of the field, certainly made a big difference. Well done to that young man. 52-23 as Ollie Klein kicks us off once more. Penalty, St. Mary's.
Yeah, it was a good catch by him, but he ran straight into his player. And that's an offsides because St. Mary's was there in a tackle position. Oliver Klein looks like he's kicking for touch. St. Mary's now may give it a shot to drive that maul in again or get the ball out to the backs. We'll see. They need to start with a good throw and catch.
And a couple more substitutions here. Yosefa Toyeva leaves the field. And Saki is on at number 22, not officially registered, but Saki wearing number 22. And also look out for number 21, Santi on the field. Big try from St. Mary's. Just waiting to see. Marty, any idea who came up with that one?
Yeah, it's tough to see in those line out the mauls. Usually it comes back to the hooker, right? And he drives it in after he throws it. He comes in and latches on at the end of that maul. But, a great example of St. Mary's with ball in hand, takes advantage of the penalty against Cal, was able to drive it down. I want to say they've had a couple of rolling mauls out of the line out that they've been able to push Cal back and put it down for a try. Successful conversion right there by Oliver Klein. And now we're set up for one of the areas that we need to get a lot better at here, receiving the kickoff. I know Rand Santos, very talented and skilled, getting that ball up high and giving Cal an opportunity to compete for that ball. But St. Mary's, even without the pressures, made a couple of mistakes here. We'll see if they've tightened that down now and can regain possession here.
Yeah, let's see. Clock continues to tick here. Can't believe there's only 15 minutes to go. Will the mountain be too tall to climb? Have Cal put too much space in between these two teams? We're going to find out here as Brian McEwen takes the kick. Number 20 for St. Mary's. Sione Ofa, brother of Siale, onto the field.
A turnover there by by Cal with a nice counter ruck when St. Mary's trying to get that possession of the ball out.
Could be trouble here. You don't want to let Rand Santos get stepping like that. There's tons of space. The Bears so strong in this position. Referee gives another try to California just as St. Mary's get one back. California answer, and we're in for an interesting last 10 minutes of this game. Let's see how it ends up. Let's see what St. Mary's can do here.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. St. Mary's with possession. Cal really on their front foot defensively. St. Mary's not gaining the line and giving Cal the angles. Cal decided to go for that one counter ruck and was able to counter ruck successfully to regain possession and turn St. Mary's over. So St. Mary's ball carriers need to gain the line and get beyond it to put Cal on their heels so they can get that ball out quickly and start being dynamic like they are. So Rand Santos, a very smart player, asking the referee, I get a minute, don't I? So wait until the very last second to attempt this conversion. So we'll see how successful he is. Currently, it's 57-30 in favor of Cal.
Yeah, it's good gamesmanship from Santos. They are tearing ahead here, no doubt, but you just want to be sure when you've got a lead like that not to do anything silly, and using up all of the shot clock. Certainly a good tactic there. And on the board, 12 minutes and 30 left. Not exactly sure what the referee's watch says. St. Mary's definitely looking to take some more points out of this game, but California making it difficult. Kickoff, Ollie Klein. St. Mary's have managed to steal the ball. John Henry Rouse. Kieran Tingen looking for the pass there, does well to ruck over instead. Mario Storti. Here we go, this is what they need to do, just fling the ball. It's still on. Nice handling there, but good defense from California. They've been on it today, they've been focused. B-Sag, Storti does well to hold it. Valuable yards. unfortunate knock on there from St. Mary's. Some deflated looking bodies out there that want to control the body language as much as possible.
Yeah, some really nice go forwards. What we were talking about just a moment ago is St. Mary's gaining that line, putting Cal on their heels, and was able to continue to do that. Unfortunately, St. Mary's makes a mistake with the knock-on right there, giving Cal the ball back. Unfortunate turn of events for St. Mary's, but again, something to work on. You know, the hope is that you have a rematch in the semifinals here between these two teams, and both of them have a long way to go before they get there. But St. Mary's is going to have to really eliminate their mistakes, the knock-ons and the penalties and the missed catches on the kickoff. So competitive game, even though the score doesn't quite show it that way.
Yeah, exactly. These they're always high scoring, these matches historically, but Cal taking it to another level today.
Beautiful steal by Dom Bisag.
Saya Pongi, Mario Storti. That's it. Rumble up the field. And then just a bit of the spooks there again coming through. Ollie Klein. Why not? Dominic Bisag. Santi out to Saya. Saki does well. Well done from Santi. Keep that ball. Can we get a penalty? Yes, they can. Here we go. Under 10 minutes left.
Yeah, looked like Cal got caught diving over the ruck there, thinking he had a poach, but he was just on the ground. Can't play the ball on the ground. Referee sees it easily. Penalty to St. Mary's. Kick for touch by Oliver Klein, and now we're back to the line out. St. Mary's exerting a lot of energy there, a few substitutions, but I think the game plan still remains the same. Try to get this line out, caught cleanly, and drive that maul through.
Right you are, Marty. Unfortunately, plan A not working out, but Gaels retain the ball. John Henry Rouse. He's been promoting himself since coming on the field. It's exactly what you're looking for. See if he can get up and get another carry here.
Oh, St. Mary's on their heels now. Need to start getting some downhill run here.
Yeah, what they don't want to do in this position is start to fall into the trap that Cal are setting them. They do not want to try and play that kind of bully ball, that type of dominative play style that the Bears have. Gaels do not want to be playing to their strength. They want to continue to play their own game, free-flowing, and just not getting the bounce of the ball here in Moraga in this second half.
Yeah, another mistake. Again, a side entry. Referee must be looking out of one eye there, but the side entry by St. Mary's called a penalty, giving them an opportunity to kick for touch, slow the game down. Only 7 minutes remaining. They'll take the full minute here before they kick for touch and take as much time as they can. Typical teams up by this amount will walk up to the line out and really take their time.
Ran Santos takes all the time, not his best, but still finds the security of touch.
Yep.
I'd just like to say here, as we're beginning to wind down, thank you to the 650 people who tuned in for the stream today. We appreciate you watching from afar. And we will see about more fixtures, playoff fixtures here in Moraga as the schedule is gradually released over the next month or so. Gaels will certainly want another fixture here in the playoffs, but as we mentioned at the beginning of the match, this one is super important when it comes to what destination we're going to play a couple of the playoff games. So a loss here doesn't help their bid to host any home games. But we will keep you updated on social media and the website for any updates there. As Saki carries the ball in, well captured by Ran Santos. Ollie Klein here, John Henry, let's see it. Footwork. Almost 3 guys to take him down, but all working really well together. Don Bisag releases the ball out to Mario. Ollie Klein. Very nice. And they'll just need to stay on it, St. Mary's. They'll need ball plus 1 or 2 just to keep the ball. Sialiofa. There we go, almost. Story of the day right there, isn't it, Marty? One more pass there, and for sure a line break on for St. Mary's. Just can't quite get it done. Credit to the Cal defence, and they get a penalty. Solomon Williams has gone quickly. Smart young man, and a nice try.
Yeah, nice good poach by the Cal Berkeley team right there. St. Mary's doing what they can. Looks like they want to try to play a little bit wider, which they did. Some good ball handling, but a poach by Cal there. Everybody's slowing down there. Solomon Williams decided to quick tap that ball. Everybody else was asleep except for him, and he decides to show a little emotion right there to the fans. Being a little aggressive with the Gaels supporters there and some of his actions and body movements there towards the St. Mary's fans. But good on him for that quick tap and go there, probably 30 to 40 meters in for the try.
Yeah, really nice heads-up play, and that feels like a dagger for St. Mary's. Solomon, I think, has just done a good job of steering the ship, being that connection from backs to forwards. Deserves a try there. Well done, Solomon Williams. Right under the posts, Ran Santos, his halfback partner, to make it 66 to 30. Less than 5 to go here. St. Mary's again will be looking to get something on the scoreboard. We'll see if California are going to let them do it here.
Yeah, it looks like St. Mary's body language, like you talked about earlier, really they look defeated. Big, strong Cal attack has really put them on their heels, and their energy right now is a little bit down. Substitutions coming for Cal, and St. Mary's will kick the ball back to Cal. But St. Mary's needs to learn from this game about the energy and bringing the energy and playing mistake-free. When you play a quality team like Cal and you make the mistakes they've made, they take advantage of them, and the last one's a perfect example of that.
Yeah, no doubt. And even with forcing the error from Cal, St. Mary's with another handling mistake.
Well, they're going to call the initial knock-on by Cal right there, giving St. Mary's a scrum, but looked like they had possession of the ball and they were ready to go. But we'll see what happens here. He does call the knock-on on St. Mary's.
And I have just gotten word here as well, confirmation from the College Rugby Association of America on April 11th. There will be a playoff game here in Moraga. Please keep yourselves updated on social media and the website to find out who that fixture will be. But we look forward to welcoming you back on April 11th. Solomon Williams, just using his body as a bit of a barricade there to keep the ball. And we'll see if the Bears choose to just play this one out or what their plan is. Marty, as we get into the final stages here, interested in your thoughts on a player of the match.
Yeah, that's a good question here. I thought Don Bisag really for St. Mary's controlled a lot of the success that they had, both offensively and defensively. I think he was pretty bright. Atalaya in the forwards, I thought had a really good first half, getting around the field. John Wilson had some good, some ball movements as well, but I would think Dominic Bisag had the day today for St. Mary's.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. And on the flip side of that, what we spoke about before the game, 2 Eagles on display today. I think Ran Santos has been fantastic for California, him and his halfback partner, Solomon Williams. And just a special shout out here to both number 1 Oliver Kirk and number 1 John Wilson, 2 front rowers playing 80 minutes, and I think they've both been exceptional as well. As Santi breaks through, he's got help, and it's a lovely offload to Siali. Dominic Bisag does well to take out the first defender. Now St. Mary's just need to be focused here and accurate, not to get any white line fever.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing advantage. Not rolling away. Cal's. Oh, now the referee's going to have him kick at the spot. Cal not rolling away. We talked about that strategy earlier.
Here we go to Joey Manzoni. John Henry Rouse, referee in the way. It's going to be all right, though, it looks like. Is it Isaiah? Off the bench, Garrido, Ramirez, Ramsey, my apologies, off the bench with a try.
Yeah, referee in the wrong spot right there. Ended up being in play. Ball hits him, bounces out. Isaiah picked it up, broke a couple of tackles, and dotted it down for the try for St. Mary's. Successful conversion for Oliver Klein. If I'm not mistaken, that'll be 37 for the Gaels. So the final score here at St. Mary's, Cal 66, St. Mary's 37.
Yeah, nothing too much to add from me here. Back to the drawing board in many ways, not just for St. Mary's, but for Cal as well. They will meet again, most likely, further down in the playoffs. And we always know that, how do you say, it's a tale of 2 games with those 2 fixtures in March, April and May whenever they're played. St. Mary's will look to go through the film and see some real key points where California had them beat. Certainly California's gold zone conversion, their 22 entries in correlation with points, I think was quite high. And St. Mary's, as you spoke about, Marty, a lot of these Cal points are coming from unforced errors from the Gaels. They'll be looking to, just back to the drawing board, really nailing their skills and understanding the kind of mindset they need to have going into these games, and they'll be looking forward to a playoff run here. And again, we'll keep you posted on the social media with fixtures, etc.
Yeah, that film session is going to be an interesting one, as St. Mary's is going to have to look in the mirror and identify the mistakes that they made and how quickly Cal could take advantage of those mistakes and put a number up on the board that's impressive. So first half was pretty solid right there at the end. St. Mary's was in it, and then you start the second half with that mix-up on the kick return, and then another mistake led to 2 quick Cal tries in the start of the second half. St. Mary's unable to recover, but back to the drawing board, like you said, but we'll have plenty of opportunities for the next couple of weeks with playoffs. We appreciate everybody that was here, and looking to sign off. If you're in the stadium, around the stadium, safe journeys. If you're out there listening to us, we appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.